In June 2004, Jim Donnelly, a 43-year-old father of two, mysteriously disappeared, never to be seen again. Jim lived in Dannemora with his wife, Tracey, and their two young children. He worked as a supervisor at the Glenbrook Steel Mill in Waiuku, where he had been employed for nearly 2 decades. His sudden disappearance left his family and community in shock, with few clues to explain what happened. In the days leading up to his disappearance, Jim's behavior raised concerns. He and Tracey had planned to spend a Saturday night at a hotel in Auckland, but Jim abruptly mentioned that he had a meeting to attend. Tracey found this unusual, especially for a weekend, and when she asked for more details, Jim refused to explain further. He even rented a suit before leaving, adding to her confusion. The following day, Jim spoke cryptically about a crisis and a waste he needed to deal with. When pressed for more information, he remained tight-lipped, leaving Tracey confused and worried. June 21, 2004, marked the last day anyone saw Jim. He woke early, between 4:30 a.m. and 5 a.m., and told Tracey about a computer game he had purchased for their son's birthday, even though the birthday was months away. Jim mentioned that he would settle the payment later that evening before leaving for work. When Jim arrived at the Glenbrook Steel Mill, he spent some time in the locker room before being seen heading upstairs around 15 to 20 minutes later. His shift supervisor noticed him standing still, almost motionless, and described Jim as appearing frozen. Shortly after, Jim was spotted again, seeming unsure of where to go next. At around 8 a.m., Tracey tried to reach Jim on his work phone but received no response. Jim did not carry a mobile phone, so Tracey had no other way to reach him. Another worker reportedly saw Jim around 8:30 a.m. wearing an orange fleece jacket, a yellow hard hat, and glasses. Despite several attempts to contact him throughout the day, Tracey and others were unable to reach him. As concern for Jim's safety grew, a search was initiated at the Glenbrook Steel Mill. By 6 p.m. that same day, Jim was officially reported missing to the police. Following Jim's disappearance, extensive searches were carried out in and around the steel mill. Search teams included local police, search and rescue units, Air Force personnel, St. John Ambulance, and mill employees. On June 26, 2004, a breakthrough came when a worker discovered Jim's yellow protective helmet, labeled with his last name, behind a protective cage near an acid tank. Further searches turned up more of Jim's belongings, including his electronic diary, glasses, money, credit cards, and a library card. Despite these findings, no further clues surfaced. Investigators even drained and searched 2 additional acid tanks, but no new evidence was found. The mystery deepened as Jim had no known serious health issues, aside from a history of depression that stemmed from the deaths of family members several years earlier. There were no signs of financial trouble or any indication that Jim had planned to leave his life behind. Investigators found no evidence of financial transactions or travel records that suggested Jim had left New Zealand. Detective Senior Sergeant Neil Grimstone took over the investigation and compiled the available evidence. In late 2005, Grimstone outlined 4 potential explanations for Jim's disappearance: an accident, suicide, a staged disappearance, or foul play. Despite the hazardous environment at the steel mill, Grimstone found it unlikely that Jim had suffered an accident, as his body would have been discovered during the thorough searches. Suicide was considered a strong possibility, given Jim's unusual behavior in the days leading up to his disappearance and his history of depression. However, there was no evidence that he had made any concrete plans to end his life. Grimstone also examined the possibility of a staged disappearance, but found no signs that Jim had prepared for such an event. There were no transactions or movements that suggested he had planned to flee or start a new life elsewhere. Lastly, Grimstone considered the possibility of foul play, but found no evidence to support this theory. After reviewing all the available information, Grimstone concluded that Jim's death was most likely the result of either suicide or an accident, though no definitive conclusion could be reached. Though Grimstone's report provided some closure, the fate of Jim Donnelly remains a haunting mystery, with his family still searching for the truth. What do you think happened to Jim? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to Crime Saga for more videos like this.